Hello, and thank you for taking a few minutes today to learn about the FaaSForms document automation platform and how it can help resolve the challenges you're likely confronting if you're still using paper forms to conduct the business of your organization. With this video, we'll remind you of the many time and money wasting issues that paper forms present in a modern organization and demonstrate how the FaaSForms solution can help eliminate these unnecessary frustrations. So, let's get started. First, are you overwhelmed having to manage huge volumes of paper forms and all of the accompanying headaches? Have you ever stopped to consider all of the drawbacks of using paper forms? As we're well into the 21st century, doesn't it seem counterintuitive that we'd still be using paper forms when the time and money-saving implications of automation are so significant? Let's take a moment to consider these drawbacks. Managerial inefficiencies associated with too many forms located in too many places. Data must be re-entered from paper forms into organizational systems. Data is often inaccurate or inconsistent due to no data entry constraints or validations. Data cannot be used by other systems due to not being integrated. Forms can easily be damaged or lost, wasting time and money. Existing forms must be recalled once new or updated forms are produced. And that's not all. Manual workflows are highly inefficient and dependent on resource availability. Maintaining compliance to ever-evolving rules and regulations is a never-ending process. Inability to save time and ensure data consistency by pre-filling forms with existing data. Mobile technologies cannot be used to increase productivity. Form data cannot be enhanced with voice memos, photos, videos, or GPS coordinates. Global form changes must be made separately for every impacted form. And ultimately, response times to customers are unnecessarily long due to all of these inefficiencies. Fortunately, there's a simple solution: FaaSForms, Forms as a Service. But what is FaaSForms? FaaSForms is a forms automation and document management platform that allows you to convert your existing paper-based forms and templates into dynamic online interview-based forms that can be completed anywhere at any time on any type of device. FaaSForms provides the information your business needs to succeed while being an easy-to-use solution embraced by all. Now we'll see a few short clips to demonstrate how FaaSForms can help address these challenges. In this clip, we'll create a simple form, fill in the requested data, and submit it. As you'll see, the tool's drag and drop functionality makes developing forms a breeze. Further, having restrictions on which data can be entered or options selected helps ensure consistent and accurate data across all form submissions. First, we create a new form called Personal Profile by clicking the Create New Form button. Next, we drag and drop a text field from the widget palette into the structure pane, in this case to create a name field. First, we create the first name field, and then, of course, the last name field. Next, we select the radio button assistant to add a variable field, in this case gender, and then create the two variable options of male and female. We then select the option of making this button a mandatory field. The end user, John Smith, then populates his name, selects his gender, and clicks the Submit button, at which point he receives a submission complete confirmation. Creating a complex form follows similar principles. In this second clip, we'll create a simple calculation to depict how an automated form can carry out a calculation, which again helps to ensure that accurate form data is generated and submitted. This fitness form determines total calorie consumption by adding the calorie consumption over a 2-day period. To create this calculation, we select the first variable to be added, in this case day 1 calorie consumption, and then select the appropriate operator, in this case an addition, followed by the second variable to be added, day 2 calorie consumption. The end user then enters their actual calorie consumption for each of the 2 days, which the form automatically totals based on the developed calculation. Again, such calculations ensure accurate data, prevent the need to rekey data, and as appropriate make the data readily available to other integrated organizational systems. In this next clip, we'll demonstrate the workflow capabilities of the FaaSForms tool, which can fully automate simple or complex workflows to meet your organization's specific needs. Approving individuals can now see the submitted forms and provide their approval or rejection from anywhere, at any time, greatly enhancing organizational efficiency and customer response times. In this example workflow, John Smith is submitting his personal profile for supervisor review and approval. Upon entering his profile information, John clicks the Submit button, again receiving a submission complete confirmation. Simultaneously, John's supervisor receives a task notification in the FaaSForms portal, as well as by email or other preferred notification means, informing him or her that there is a task awaiting their review. Upon review of John's submitted profile, the supervisor can either approve or decline the submission as appropriate. Should the supervisor choose to decline, an entry field appears whereby the reason for the declined submission can be entered, along with any corrective guidance that might ensure a valid next submission. If in fact all of the submitted information is correct, the supervisor can select Approve, at which point the form can be forwarded to any remaining approval authorities or otherwise saved into the system of record. Using FaaSForms Smart modules, data that appears across multiple forms can be stored in a single location, enabling easy updates when form data must change for any reason, such as for policy or regulatory changes. In this example, the vacation policy has changed from 2 weeks to 3 weeks for employees across all of this department's sub-agencies. Rather than having to update HR forms for every agency, a single change can be made in the previously developed Smart module, resulting in the change being propagated out across all impacted forms simultaneously. As you can see, once the change is made within a single Smart module, all of the impacted HR forms are appropriately updated. In this clip, we'll demonstrate the device independence of the FaaSForms solution, as forms can now be completed and viewed on virtually any mobile device, online or offline, providing the flexibility and efficiency that ultimately results in greater organizational productivity. The medical professional in this video is using a tablet and stylus to capture patient information. As you can see, handwritten characters are automatically converted into electronic characters, precluding the need to later rekey data from the form into other organizational systems. In fact, the data can be integrated real-time with relevant systems, providing instant value to recipient applications. As you'll also note, incorrectly entered data can simply be overwritten and instantaneously corrected within the application. Validation rules can also be created to ensure data accuracy. In this case, the medical professional inadvertently enters data that indicates that a male patient is pregnant. Previously established validation rules notice this impossibility, and the data is instantaneously corrected before ever being submitted. Finally, the medical professional signs the submission using natural handwriting, which will then be captured as a legitimate e-signature. Clearly, the mobile capabilities are many and afford your organization substantial flexibility on when and how work is conducted. In this video, we'll see how the FaaSForms solution can save data entry time while ensuring data consistency by automatically pre-filling forms with any data that may already exist. In this patient information form, you'll see that the date has been pre-populated. The medical professional indicates that the current patient is an existing patient. Once this notation is made, the medical professional is able to select the correct patient from a drop-down list of existing patients. Upon doing so, all of the fields associated with patient information and responsible party are automatically pre-populated, precluding the need to rekey this already existing data. Upon learning of changes to the responsible party, namely the first name and the relationship of the patient, the medical professional can simply overwrite that information, resulting in an automatic update to the database. The time and cost savings of pre-filled data obviously can increase dramatically based on the usage rates of the automated forms. By now, you hopefully realize that the decision to move to automated forms is not a question of if, but when. Further, it's not a question of if you can afford it, but rather if you can afford not to. In fact, the longer you wait, the more of your limited resources you'll waste on paper forms that could easily be redirected to help address more mission-enabling activities. To get started with the process of taking your organization's forms into the modern age, we look forward to becoming your forms automation partner and hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.